And we are ready for the second round of the women's 400-meter dash. This is the second time these women have run today. Usually rounds are run on consecutive days, but they'll be on the track twice today. This is the second round, and the top 4 in each heat, plus the next 4 fastest, will advance.
Well, the athletes really have to show some fitness here, Tom, because they are running twice in one day. It's the first time since 1980 they have done a 400 meters this way.
From Gainesville, Florida, Maicel Malone-Wallace, who won gold at the 4x400 relay in Atlanta last year.
Tom, she's been around quite some time, winning the NCAA championships way back in 1990. Also a gold medal at the 93 World Championships on the 4x400 relay. Just hasn't had a chance to really get it going in the open 400, however, at this point.
Representing the Bahamas, though she attended college at the University of Alabama, Pauline Davis, 4th in Atlanta last year and silver medalist at the 95 World Championships.
Well, it took an awful lot for everybody to convince Pauline Davis that the 400 meters was her race. The first time she was serious, she got a silver medal.
Fair start in this second round of the women's 400-meter dash. Maicel Malone-Wallace in lane 3 gets away pretty well.
Maicel's been having a good year, but not as good as years past. But right now she is running very well out of lane number 3. Pauline Davis out in lane number 7.
And Allison Curbishley of Great Britain in the outside lane appears to be running well.
Well, the outside lane's that type of lane where you're out there and you know they're coming after you and you just want to put it off as long as possible.
And in lane 4, Helena Fuchsová of the Czech Republic, very well bunched. Now, the top 4 will automatically advance.
That's Sandie Richards of Jamaica coming up on the outside of Fuchsová. She went to the University of Texas and has been very impressive.
Sandie Richards, Fuchsová, Maicel Malone-Wallace fading there at the end and then stumbling and falling just past the finish line.
That's one thing you might see here, Tom, as we mentioned before the race. They're running for the second time today. I'll tell you, these athletes really have to have some great fitness in order to be prepared for that. Maicel Malone fading badly in the home stretch.
You see her on the inside of this picture. She's in lane 3, and right here, she really hits the wall.
Richards finishing easily, but Malone fading all the way to 6th, and therefore probably not going to qualify for the semifinal. Just too much to run 2 races in one day for Maicel Malone. And as she's looking up, she just catches her foot on the way through and goes down hard.
Maicel has suffered from quite a few injuries in the past, and hopefully she didn't do anything to herself when she took that fall. She still has a 4x400 meter relay to run.
Possibly she might make it on time, but doubtful that Maicel Malone-Wallace will advance. Here is the race favorite, Cathy Freeman of Australia, silver medalist in Atlanta last year. She races next. And Jearl Miles-Clark will be her chief rival in that heat. Jearl Miles-Clark ranking with Freeman as one of the pre-race favorites to take the gold and the $60,000 first prize. And here in Athens, we have the official results in that heat of the women's 400 meters. Sandie Richards winning it, and Maicel Malone-Wallace stumbling, fading in the stretch, and then falling right after the finish line, finishing 5th, and now only hoping to advance to the semifinals based on her time, 50.77. Really good quarterfinal match coming up, including Jearl Miles-Clark of the United States. You know, the last 12 months have been memorable for the Gainesville, Florida native. I mean, it's tough to top a gold medal and a wedding. Reflections on the past year for Jearl Miles-Clark. 5th in the 400 in Atlanta, she rebounded with a stirring anchor leg to win gold in the 4x400 relay.
I didn't come out with a gold medal in an individual event, but in the 4x4, I mean, we ran our hearts out and we did great. I knew after I finished the 400 that I could run faster, and I just used that as my motivational point for this year.
By her side, coach and now husband, J.J. Clark. Since the wedding, Jearl has won this year's World Indoors and U.S. Nationals, recording a personal best. Now she hopes to rekindle memories of the 93 Worlds, where she won her career crown jewel, the 400 outdoor title.
each year I get stronger, I get wiser, I know what I want, and I think I figured out the 400 a lot more now than I did back maybe 5 years ago.
Jearl Miles-Clark, older, wiser, faster. And there is Jearl, who was a world champion back in 1993 and a gold medalist in Atlanta last year on that 4x400 relay. And from Australia, the proud bearer of her Aborigine heritage, Cathy Freeman, silver medalist in Atlanta.
Both of these two women are very strong. They're 1-2 in the world right now.
And the race underway. Cathy Freeman running in lane 4. Jearl Miles-Clark in lane 5. Two of the gold medal favorites.
Well, I have to tell you, Cathy Freeman might be in a better position. She has had a tendency to go out too hard. For major competition, one lane outside of her. She can keep an eye on her all the way around.
Jearl Miles-Clark is there, and Cathy Freeman right on her heels to her inside.
One thing we know for sure, Jearl Miles-Clark will have no problem dealing with 2 races in one day. She's got great strength from the 800-meter running and training she's done this entire season.
And they come off the final bend together. Cathy Freeman a short lead. Jearl Miles-Clark right on her heels. And now those two race to the line. Freeman and Miles-Clark. Miles-Clark takes the short lead as they both ease up. She will win it. Freeman holding second.
You know, Dwight, as you mentioned, that is going to be a key factor. Jearl Miles-Clark is training to move up to the next level for her, which is going to be the 800 meters. I talked to her husband and coach J.J. Clark. He said she knows she needs to move up, but right now he doesn't think, and she doesn't think she can handle the rounds. She has run 157.98. She is 5th in the world right now at 800 meters. That strength is really going to carry her through.
And so smooth was she for the first 200 meters. She really did help keep Cathy Freeman under control. And this race going at 50.66 for a winning time may also be a key factor in letting Maicel Malone-Wallace into the semifinal, because her time, although 5th, is probably fast enough to move through. So it turns out excellent for the Americans all the way around. Jearl Miles-Clark looking very smooth all the way around in this 400-meter second heat. And the fact that she has this great background in 1997 is going to bode well for her. Cathy Freeman will have her hands full with Jearl Miles-Clark in this final.
And Jearl right now is with John Dockery. Doc?
Thanks, Tom. Carol Lewis and Dwight Stones were just talking about your fitness. You know, it's unusual, 2 400 meters in a single day. How are you handling it? You're 30 years old.
Okay, I'm 30, yes. It only makes me stronger. I've been training a little for the 800 this year, so that's helped me a lot.
How would you assess your performance out here today?
Today, I feel good with it. The objective was to make it through the rounds to the next race, which is tomorrow.
Do you feel you're getting better with age?
Better with age.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Thank you. Tom?
All right, John, and let's put a stop to that reference to age right now. Here are the key qualifiers in the women's 4. Jearl Miles-Clark, Cathy Freeman. Good news for Maicel Malone-Wallace. She does make it through on time, as does Kim Graham of the United States.